Hello, everyone. I'm talking to you today about an issue of great importance, perhaps what you might say utmost importance, perhaps the most vital, crucial aspect of what you might call our entire reality. Because the most important thing to understand about our well, what you might call reality, depending on who you ask, eh? But the most important underpinnings of what create this overarching construct of humanity, of culture, of civilization itself, of um, human beings being human. It's all, it's underpinned, it's heavily underpinned, it's underlined by the mythological, psychological, yes, philosophical, but overarchingly mythological stories, the narratives that we tell ourselves. I mean, I talk to some of my students, and I got a lot of bright kids in my class, eh? A lot of bright students, and they come to me with seemingly simple questions until you scratch the bloody surface. They might come over to me, they might ask something to, into what you might say, a question in the form of the following words. They might say, "So what is meaning?" I say, "That's a good question. That's a bloody good question, bucko. It all depends." Well, it depends on several factors, actually, but it depends primarily on what you mean by meaning, and what I mean by you, and what you mean by what is the. What is the? The? You can't just throw that out like it's something everybody has the same conceptual understanding of. There are 8 bloody billion human beings on the planet. We have to get down to brass tacks, eh? We have to define our bloody terms. So, in asking such a question, you're already implying, you're demanding to a degree that you're insisting, that's the right word, you're insisting that there must bloody already exist some underlying, underpinning, undergirding, under fucking where bloody connection, some agreed upon, some pre-agreed upon, preconceived definitions that we all have in common. Well, I've got news for you, bucko. We don't. We don't. You've only got to look through history. Look at what happened in Nazi Germany. Post 1940s, even. Pre 1940s. Look at the Soviet Union. The gulags. You think the guards had the same mythological underpinnings and understandings and graspings and summations of what makes this human construct tangible and realistic? Do you think their perspective was the same as the damn prisoners? Well, a lot of people do. If you ask a Marxist, a postmodern, somebody with a postmodern education, especially if they come with the dark triad of the Machiavellian, you might say, mindset, well, they might say, hey, if they weren't speaking the same language, how did they damn communicate? Well, communication on a surface level, that's certainly one thing. Like I can say, "Excuse me, hello, yes," comical, I know, but "I'd like a cup of coffee, please." That person, assuming they do speak the same surface level language, can certainly provide me with a cup of coffee. Now, if they're to scratch a little below the surface, take a couple of seconds to be a damn human being, engage their bloody brains. They might question, they might say, well, what does he mean, coffee? There are so many types of coffee. Look at our bloody menu. We've got Americanos, for God's sakes, lattes, frappa bloody chinos. To come in here and just ask for a damn bloody cup of and what is a cup? You want to take it out, drink it on the street like a homeless, drifting nobody, a cuttlefish clinging to the bottom of the societal substruct that we began to describe in the first place? Or do you want to sit in and drink out of a ceramic large mug, black coffee, and define your damn terms? Well, things can get a little heated sometimes in the coffee shop, especially when people don't know what they're talking about. So that's fundamentally what I'm here to talk about today with you all. And I talk about very often with my students, it can be a real, almost a nuclear, it's a nuclear explosion that takes place in the, how might you say, the structures, the preconceived structures we've built around words such as meaning really start to fall apart and disintegrate into nothing once you begin to question them. That's the Socratic method. That's the evidence, that's the basis, rather, of the Socratic method. Question things from first principles. Now you might say, what do you mean by principle? What do you mean by first? Good damn question. First is typically the thing that comes before second, but not always. What if you're counting backwards? What if you're saying 5, 4, 3, 2, bloody 1? Huh? What then, bucko? Well, then 1 came after 2, didn't it? So don't always assume you know. It upsets me, man, but when you take a look at what's happening to young men, these young men who refuse to clean their rooms, refuse to define their terms, refuse to ask the most basic questions. Like, what do you mean by what? What do you mean by mean? This is where meaning is found. And it's so profoundly important. If I only had someone to just an iota of encouragement, well, perhaps the bloody world wouldn't be in the state we see it's in now, eh? All right. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to sign up for my course. You can, the Self-Authoring Suite. It's a great program. And before I get too caught into almost sliding into my Donald Trump impression, okay, we're going to call it a day. It's been a fun talk, and we'll talk to you on the next one. All right, take care.